Yes. Yes, 2 times. Y'all know the vibes though. She like, ooh la la. They go, ooh la la. We like, ooh la la. They go, ooh la la. Okay, ooh la la. She like, ooh la la. They go, ooh la la. They like, ooh la la. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop up out the bed like, where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. Popovich. Popovich TV. That's my show. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, then thank you and please come on in. Over here, we deal with sports, hip hop, interviews sometimes, entertainment, Popovisms 101, and motivation. If that sound like something you can rock with, then before you leave this page and diddy to the left, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, smash that notification bell so when I upload the videos, yes, you get alerted. You get alerted when I upload the videos, and if it's not your first time and you've been rocking with the channel, good looking. But you know how we do. You know how I start my show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. We in the end game. We in the end game, people, because obviously, you know what I mean? Yesterday, you know, obviously news came out of the terrible, horrific, you know what I mean, just unthinkable, unimaginable that took place in the heart of, you know, in the heart of Texas, in the state of Texas, where, you know, a young dude, you know what I mean, 18 years old. Same within Buffalo, same within, you know, Texas. You know, instead of just offing itself, you know what I mean, and just if you hate your life that much, then just kill yourself. I mean, and, you know, in the Islamic faith, obviously, you know, for those that have been rocking with the channel, you know, I speak about this a lot or a few times for you to know if you've been rocking with the channel. You know, one of the sins that, you know, the Most High won't forgive is taking your own life, because it's not your life to take. Therefore, other lives is not yours to take as well. Even though, you know, through war, through accidents, through whatever, you know, circumstances may arise, sometimes life is lost, you know, obviously through other human beings. In fact, that's all, you know, when we see life being lost is through human beings. And sometimes human beings can be the worst. It's like, and, you know, I don't want to make light. First and foremost, prayers and condolences to all the families that was affected. Obviously, a lot of families was affected. Hearing it was a small community, and if some of my details is not accurate or they're not, you know, spot on, then forgive me. But I'm hearing that the community was 16 to 17,000, and you know, I'm from New York, so you know, preferably Harlem. And, you know, obviously it's a story of, you know, they say it's the city of 8 million stories, and, you know, so many people in any spot you live. It's the city that never sleeps. When I've been out in town to, you know, little rural areas or places where it's not a lot of, you know, a lot of people, it's not that populated. So to hear only 16 to 17,000, obviously it's a small community. And then, you know, as the details come out, because at first, when it first happened, I actually was in the gym on the treadmill getting right, you know what I mean, trying to stay out that washing machine. And I was on my 5 miles, and you know, I was seeing it on the news, but I got the headphones on, so I didn't know that, you know, it was children at the time. You know, we didn't know what ethnicity or what background you know, the suspect was, even though we know who ultimately did what they did, and Hispanic descent, and he got murdered. You know what I mean? And rightfully so, he took lives, so his life should have been taken. That's just how I feel about it. But it does make you, you know, like obviously on social media, I'm not the only one that's saying, you know what I mean? Even though what he did was horrific. So make no mistake about that. He got what he deserved. He got what he was looking for. And you know, it is what it is when it comes to that. But not even with no malice. It's just that he did what he did, which was unthinkable. He got what he deserved, and I'm cool with that. But you hear online, you hear the chatters, you hear from but you black, right? Like why they always take the suspects, the alleged suspects, you know, what they say on the news, in alive for mass shootings, like the dude in Buffalo, the Peyton. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna talk about him a little bit as well, from watching another channel. You know, I'm always in these YouTube streets, and what I seen then on the back end of what I first seen with the same black dude is very interesting. And you say, damn, maybe this could have been prevented. But you know, man plan and other men plan, but in my belief, Allah is the best of planners. So no matter what you got going on or what you think you got going on, whatever your future plans is, that's why you're always supposed to say, if the Most High wills, because you could be having, you know, the moon and the stars at your grass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is popping off tomorrow. It's going to be a good Memorial Day weekend. And then you die on Thursday. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Accidentally or whatever happens. So you're always supposed to put that because life is not promised. But we're gonna get to the shooting on that in a minute. Back to this dude. So the details coming out, you know, that he was shy, that he was bullied, you know, that he was trans, if he was of the LGBTQ community. And some people were saying, oh, does that make a difference? Does it not? But they not. I haven't seen them speak about that in the big networks and you know on the news channels that's spinning the clips right now. You know, rightfully so. They talking about the children. So again, I was on the treadmill, didn't know it was children, didn't know who. I just was like, damn, another school shooting. You know what I mean? And then now to come to find out they was underreporting the number of you know, reported deaths when it comes to the kids, and I guess the total number now is 19, with maybe like 3 or 4 people still in critical condition. One of them being his grandmother, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe she did pass, because I'm just trying to get, you know, as much information as possible before I just jump on, you know, go live and on the channel, pop up his TV, you know, niggas got their own shows and shit, and give out wrong information. But he popped his grandmother, go to the school, do something horrific and low down, cowardly as he did. But then you reports coming out that he was bullied, he was picked on. But then you see some other classmates say, you know, that he was a troublemaker. You know what I mean? That he would come in and do certain things and have cuts and stuff on his face. One of the girls said, and they was looking at him like something was wrong. And then he would be smiling and say, ask, well, what happened to your face? And, you know, was you in a fight? Did somebody do something to you? And he would say, nah, I put these here myself. I like it. I think it looks good. Red flags. You know, they said he had a bad relationship with his moms, between back and forth with his moms and his grandmother. And then the pops, I mean, not the pops, the grandfather, who I guess wasn't living with the grandmother or wasn't there at the time or whatever. He says, you know, he didn't have a license, so who drove him to get the guns? He said he was a felon. So I'm like, dang, he's a felon at 18, you know, you got a criminal record. So he wasn't supposed to possess guns, and if he knew that he had guns, he would have hit the bat line of the police, like, oh, you know what I mean? And that's very admirable of the grandfather to want to turn your grandson in for, you know, having weapons and doing stuff you don't have no business doing. I say, damn though, like this shit, Sandy Hook, you know what I mean? Connecticut, this shit. Then you have the Buffalo shit, and obviously this is 10 days later. So this shit is still fresh. You know what I mean? It still just was on the phone talking with somebody who's you know, they in prison, they incarcerated. But it's a lot of Buffalo, you know, natives where they incarcerated at. So the hurt is real. And then like I said on the other channel, on Zach channel, the Jamachi channel, I watched his video. It was a live stream, but I watched the playback. He actually went up there, and again, you know, it's just when you see stuff like this, you don't know why they happen. You could only, you know, obviously the FBI and, you know, those type of people with those pay grades, they're gonna try to dive into the social media, which they say he did post some disturbing stuff, and they're saying, damn, are we just so not mindful of certain behaviors? And then again, it's like, is it your job? And I don't say it's your job. I'll say as your native, as your neighbor, as just your fellow, whether you're a New Yorker, Detroitian, Buffalo, whatever state you're in. It's not your job, but it's your own personal job to be vigilant, to be observant. I couldn't formulate the words properly, but that's pretty. You do yourself a disservice when you're not being vigilant and you're not observant, you're not seeing what it is, and you could possibly be doing other people. But obviously, self-preservation is number one. You can't save nobody if you can't save yourself. So you have to be on point first. Then you make a point some stuff out. And so, I mentioned that, like going on the train. Obviously, was another shooting, even though they caught the dude who seemed like he just randomly killed the guy as well. I guess he was a member of the LGBT community, because his partner or his lover, whoever they was interviewing, looked like he was a man but wanted to be a woman. And he was like, he didn't like riding the train, and he didn't want to take the Uber. It was $40, and et cetera, et cetera. So you end up just going on the train, and then randomly some dude just end up killing you. You know what I mean? What's the motive? Is it a hate crime? Did he know he was gay or not gay? You know what I mean? And then you have to ask those things. Does this dude in Texas being of the community, which they're not talking about, does that matter? You know what I mean? Does it matter to you? Why they not saying it? Will it paint the LGBT community in the bad light because the trans, wannabe woman went and shot up, a whole bunch of kids and killed them? Then they say he had not one, but 2 AR. You know what I mean? He just purchased 2 days or 3 days before his 18th birthday. So here in New York, you got HooK, who's from Buffalo. She want to push the I guess the limit to 21. And obviously, you have a right to carry in this country. It's our second right. It's the Second Amendment, a right to bear arms and to protect yourself from domestic and foreign, enemies. Whether it's 21, whether it's 18, I don't know if that's a big difference. Obviously, 21 you can drink, you can do certain things. 18 you can vote, you can go off to war. You know what I mean? You can be drafted, or at least that's how it was. You know what I mean? Background checks. Steve Kerr. Obviously, this hip hop sports interviews. They just lost the other night, and I figured they would, because you had Steph Curry, and great. I told you, and I was right. Not that I wanted to be right. You know what I mean? I wish you would. You know what I mean? But shout to my nigga Greg. We always be going back and forth with the gambling, who we like, who you got. Same thing today. Boston. I'm like, Boston. Miami's a little shaky, a little nervous, a little shaky, a little nervous. Now they got to go back to Game 6 at the Garden. But anyway, like I was saying, after the game, Kerr was like, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, which I'm neither. I guess I'm independent. I'm for whoever going to do more for the people. You know what I mean? I'm for the people. That I don't know where he get the statistic from, but this is what he was saying. He was saying 90% of the Americans want a background check, but for whatever reason, the 30 or something senators, they're holding us hostage, and I guess they not letting that be what he's saying. So I'll say Steve is probably smarter than me in this department, because I'm not in the know like that, and I never claim to be when it comes to politics as usual, because it just seems like everybody's corrupt. You know what I mean? Like, you may have some people that seem genuine, or they for the people, or they're gonna do what they say, not just give lip service. Then when they get in office, they do something total opposite. Like, when you reverse it, like, don't be whipped by that puss, whip that puss, like whip that. You know what I mean? Like, they just do the opposite. So it's like, you don't know who to believe. Like, you know what I mean? It gets confusing, and it's hard. You know what I mean? The Big Daddy Kane reference. It's quite confusing for you to remember what they said in the beginning. It's like, am I in the Matrix? Am I just dropped down in Planet 66, like in the Marvel universe? Or did I just hear him say he was going to do X, Y, Z? Then as soon as when he gets your vote, they do A, B, and C. And you're like, damn, I thought you was going to do X, Y, Z. Right. So for that part, I guess me personally, and I'm sure I'm not unique in this sense, that a lot of people look at politics and these people with the side eye. They have great ambition to rule over a lot of people and be in a position of power. And I got money. Told niggas not to roll dice with me. But anyway, if that's true, what Steve Kerr is saying, why are we not doing more extensive background checks? I mean, mass shooting, again, I think it's 4 more people that have to be shot or in killed. Popping up more and more lately. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, SandY HooK was one that sticks out and it hits hard because it's the little kids. And that's not to say that a kid's life is valued more than adult life, but obviously they are innocent. You know what I mean? They are children. They haven't yet lived yet. You know what I mean? So you always question, and then, obviously people that's of, faith, you know what I mean? Like myself, or I try to be. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect when I say that, but just meaning that I have faith and I try to live close to that as possible. But sometimes we question, like, damn, like, why did this happen? Not in a negative way. At least I'll be mindful of how, view or question God. You know what I mean? But we are humans. We are all God's children. Not in the literal sense, like he had us. We are sons and daughters. But in the sense that he is the creator. So, you know what I mean? You may say, like, damn, why did that school bus catch on fire with all them kids? Or why did this happen and why did this happen? And before I get too long-winded, I want to read something out the good book, because a lot of times we don't understand stuff, so we get mad about it, or it may make you question your faith. You know what I mean? And that doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Jew, Christian, you know what I mean? Whatever you are, it could make you question, especially when it's your family. See, for me, I can just get on, pop up his TV and I'm being funny, but I'm not. And I could talk about it. Obviously, I feel compassion, I feel empathy, and I feel sorrow for the people that lost their loved ones and their kids, you know what I mean, in this event, as well as Buffalo. But none of them was my family. So outside of that human part and, me feeling compassion and empathy and just like, damn, and even say a prayer for those families to have some type of comfort and to have some type of, relief, you know what I mean, of the trauma that they're going through. I'm still just not connected like that. So after I get off here, it's back to doing what I'm doing. Even while I was in the gym, watching it, at least trying to see the headlines, because actually the TV was a little far. We go back to what we're doing. It don't really affect us like that. And I always get on the channel and say that you don't want to be desensitized to babies getting killed. And then I reference the Cam from Paid in Full, when he like, yo, you strong, right? Niggas get killed every day, right? B, you strong, you could take it. And we shouldn't take it. We shouldn't get strong to just, just have your coffee in the morning, read the paper. 19 kids just get killed and they get done. But I want to read the story real quick. It's not too long, you know what I mean? And I never did this before on the channel. But pop up his TV, we live, we rolling, we unscripted, so we do stuff like this on my channel. So I'm giving you a little background, because I want to tell you what the story quickly is about. Let me see, make sure. All right. So this is about Moses. We all know about the prophet Moses. He had the staff. He he killed the man. His people. He freed the people from Pharaoh, and he led them to the promised land. And this is like another story. And this is in the good book. You know what I mean? This is the Quran. So this is a story where he ran into another one of the Most High servants who was on another mission doing something else. Real wise, smart individual. So Moses he's the messenger of God. He's one of the prophets, and he's one of the well-known ones. So he's smart, and he holds a position as well. So anyway, I'm gonna read the story, but he gets with the guy, and he witnesses 3 things that the guy does, and the guy's telling them, like, listen, one, I don't want you coming with me, because I don't want you asking me all these questions. I don't want you, getting on my nerves. So if you come with me, don't ask me nothing. As soon as when you ask me something, we gonna part ways. So Moses is like, all right, I'm gonna be able to be patient and go with you and seek knowledge. I want to gain some knowledge from you by traveling with you. And this is the story right here. So they found one of our servants. When they say they mean Moses, on whom we've bestowed mercy from ourselves, and whom we have taught knowledge from our own presence. Like I said, this guy's a sharp, smart individual. Moses said to him, may I follow thee on the footing that thou teach me something of a higher truth, which thou hast been taught. I mean, teach me something you got. You know what I mean? The other said, they don't say his name, so that's why I say the other guy. The other said, verily thou wilt not be able to have patience with me. And how can thou have patience about something about which thy understanding is not complete? So he like, I hear you. I know you want to, you know what I mean, be down. I know you want to get knowledge like me and you want to obtain what I have. But surely you're not going to be able to be patient with me, because how can you be patient with me when you don't have full understanding of what I'm doing? So Moses says, thou wilt find me, if Allah so wills, truly patient, nor shall I disobey thee in nothing. The other said, if then thou willest follow me, ask me no questions about anything until I speak on it concerning it. So Moses is like, all right, I'm a roll with you, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to observe, and I'm not going to say nothing. And then their journey begins, and it's going to be 3 examples, and I'll stop after that without getting too, you know what I mean? I normally don't do this. In fact, it's the first time I am doing this. Now you in class. So they both proceeded until they were in the boat, and he scuffled it. Said Moses, how thou scuffled it in order to drown those in it? A truly strange thing thou hast done. So they was in the boat. The other guy did something to the boat to disable the boat. And then that was Moses' response. Truly a strange thing thou hast done. He answered the other guy, did I not tell you that thee cannot have patience with me? Moses quickly remembered, rebuke me not for forgetting, nor grieve me by raising difficulty in my case. Then they proceeded until when they met a young man, and he slew him, meaning he killed him. Thou hast slain an innocent person? No, Moses said, thou hast slain an innocent person who has slain none? Like, what? Where they do that at? You just kill an innocent young man that has done nothing? A truly foul and unheard of thing thou hast done. He answered, did I not tell thee thou cannot have his patience with me? Moses said, if I ask thee about anything after this, keep me not in thou company. Then willest thou have received full excuse from my side. Meaning, like, if I say something else, you could just be like, bro, you out the whip. Like, you riding with me. And don't y'all just hate people that's in the passenger seat and you driving, you know where you going, yet they keep telling you how to drive? Don't you hate that? I do. I raise my hand. Well, I do. So that's pretty much what he's saying. Like, listen, if I say anything else again, you can kick me out the whip, because I already violated what I said twice. I said I wasn't going to say nothing, yet I already asked you about 2 things that I seen you do. And so this is the last thing. And after this, I'm going to stop. Blessings, blessings. You one of the people I'm talking about. Always in the whip with something to say. Like that part. Then they proceeded until when they came to inhabitants of a town, they asked them for food, but they refused them. But they refused them hospitality. They found there a wall on the point of falling down, but he set it up straight. So they went to a town. They was on a journey. They went to a town. They sought hospitality from the people that was there. The people didn't give them no hospitality. Like, nah, this is not Houston. This is not Atlanta. You're not going to get that southern hospitality. Ludicrous. They found the wall that was breaking a little bit. So he fixed the wall back up strong. So Moses had it now. He was in the boat. You put holes in the boat. Get off the boat. You see a young man. You slay a young man that didn't do nothing, according to Moses. Now we get to a town. We need hospitality. They ain't giving us none. And then you do them a favor. So Moses is like, you know, he's not patient. He's like, what the hell? I mean, like, what the hell? And then the guy answers him. This is what he says. He answers, this is the part in between me and you now. Like, I'm done with you. Now we'll tell thee the interpretations of those things over which thou was unable to have patience with. As for the boat, it belonged to certain men in dire want. They plow on the water. I but wish to render it inserviceable, for there was after them a certain king who seized on every boat by force. So he saved somebody because a certain king or whatever was seizing the boats and doing stuff to the people on the boat. So he rendered the boat disserviceable so that these certain young men went and get on the boat and then thus get caught by the king on the back end and get done dirty. As for the youth, his parents were people of faith and were feared that he would grieve them by obstinate rebellion and ingratitude to Allah and the man. So we desired that their Lord would give them in exchange a son better in purity of conduct and closer in affection. I'm going to read that again. As for the youth, his parents were people of faith, and we feared that he would grieve them by obstinate rebellion and ingratitude to Allah and man, meaning like he was going to be a menace to society. So he was killed in early. And they say, oh, this sounds like a movie. This sounds like Minority Reports when they was coming to lock people up before they even did the crime. But that's just movie shit. And we're talking about the Most High right now. So we desired that the Lord would give him in exchange a son more worthy, better in conduct, that won't be a menace to society. As for the wall, it belonged to 2 youth orphans in the town. There was beneath it buried a treasure to which they were entitled. Their father had been a righteous man, so their Lord desired that they should obtain their age full of strength and get their own and get out the treasure, a mercy and a favor from their Lord. I did not know of my own. I did not nothing on my own accord. Such is the interpretation of those things over which thou was unable to have patience with me. Allah speaks the truth. So I only read that, in light of the Texas, in light of the Buffalo. I'm not equating any to that. But, I read often, you know what I mean? Obviously, like I said, I'm a man of faith to the best of my ability. Do I still have flaws? Do I still do shit? Do I still sin? Yeah. Booking.yeah. I'm not perfect. B. Simone, Martin Luther King, even if he did do it, which he did. FBI lying on him. J. Edgar Hoover. You believe anything on the internet that you see? But even if that was the case with Martin, nobody's perfect. And I'm not perfect either. But when I was reading that and I came across that, and it's not the first time I read that, obviously. I started thinking, I say, damn, because in times like this when it's uncertainty and it could be a little shaky, a little nervous, a little shaky, and it could just be like, damn, we are living in the last times. We living in the last days. In the end game, you see kids get killed. You say, damn, why they get killed? And I don't know why they got killed because I'm not the Most High. It's an unfortunate to me, yeah. But I do believe that no matter your age and no matter how you die, we all got to go back to the Most High. We all going to go back, just like we brought into this world. We're going to be taken out of this world. Some vicious, some not vicious. You know what I mean? And the only thing that you can hope for, is that you have a painless death or a quick death. You know what I mean? And hopefully they all did. You know what I mean? As opposed to being in pain and being in agony. You know what I mean? Because it's real unfortunate. But if you are a person of faith, don't let times like this when the devil is working, he always working, make your faith weak. You know what I mean? Make you question God. Make you wake up a non-believer, because that's the case too. And that's in the good book as well, that, just because you go to sleep a believer, when you wake up, that don't mean you're going to be a believer. I know plenty of people who was, in any religion. So, it's not just Islamic religion. It's not an Islamic show. It's not pushing my beliefs on you. Like I said, when I was incarcerated, took Bible courses, got Bible certificates. So I know how to, fight in the Bible as well. Verses, what contradict, this, that, what goes together. Fully well versed, although it's been years. You know what I mean? But the point is, I do know what I'm talking about, just even a little bit. No matter what religion, I've seen people that's Muslim, Christian, Jew, no matter what religion, be one way, you know what I mean? They want to convert everybody. Everything you're doing is wrong. They want to tell you about it. You know what I mean? That's not what you're supposed to be doing, or sister, that's not what you're like. They always want to tell you what you're supposed to be doing, because in that moment and in that space that they're in the best space they could be. They They high on the horse. They they drinking the Kool-Aid strong. And I'm not being funny when I say that. I'm not knocking them, because you need people to be, to try to be good. You know what I mean? It's a lot of evil in the world. But then flip around, something happens or something don't go their way, then you see them again down the line, and they not of the faith that they was no more, or they flip faiths, or they just not nothing no more. Dare I say, you got some 5%ers, you got some Muslims that I met, they was that. Then when you see them at the other jail, like the DMX skit, nigga talking all that shit about what he was doing at the other jail, now they Crip now. Now they Blood now. Now they Catholic. And I'm like, wasn't you just, a Jew in the other jail? Now you a Crip? What? Like, how did you go from that to this? I've seen it. No cap. I've seen it. So that's all the point that I'm saying is, like, you don't want to be one of those people that have faith, then you wake up and you lose your faith, and then, oh, do you ever think about when you out of here? That's right. The same day you wake up like that, your video, your record deal, all that shit out of here, then something happens. Oh, and you die. Now you died unfaithful. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're going to have some questions to answer. But I know I talked about that a little much. I could be a little long-winded sometimes. But hopefully you got something out of that, especially that story, because when we do see things as men and our limited knowledge, even though people do want to get on the internet, act like they prophets, act like they know the most, they speeches will dazzle you, have you sitting there like, oh, let me get them all my money, because they must know what they talking about, like in the churches and all that and other places where they prey on people. And I don't mean pray, I mean pray, like P-R-E-Y, prey on your, your emotions and whatever you may be going through. Sisters, get y'all riled up. Bill O'Reilly, you only riling me up. Don't wake up that day and, and you out of here. Your record deal and your video out of here. So just try to stay grounded. Again, we human, so I'm not saying you can't question nothing, but don't get too crazy questioning the Most High, because he give us life and every day is a gift, and any one of us can be out of here anytime, any place, anywhere. The most safest place, the church, the movies, school, a boat, wherever you think is safe at, it ain't safe, because death is always around us, and the angel of death is real. Let's get to this next stuff, though. It's not a lighter note, but it's not death. Let's talk about BriTTneY GrineR, and obviously she been in Russia, locked up on lockdown, allegedly, maybe kind of sort of, for having the weed oils and trying to transport drugs or bring drugs back, however it goes. Some people like she being set up, so as she's being set up, allegedly, then that's all the way messed up. And I feel for her regardless, whether she's guilty or not, even though she hasn't been found guilty yet, meaning like it wasn't a setup. Say she just happened to be doing what she was doing, got caught, now she been in Russia for 90-something days, or close to 90 days now. And, I know what it's like to lose, like to feel so desperately that I'm right, yet to fail. I know what it's like to be in the box 6 months, 90 days, by myself, or just only people to talk to on the gate. And I know people that have been in the box longer than that, years. My cousin, rest in peace, David, or in prison, they used to call him Lotto, like, you want to try your hand? Rest in peace to my cousin David. He did like 5 years in the box straight, and then obviously K.O. Smitty, who I just had on the phone, he did, I think, 6 years in the box straight, but that's because he wanted to be, And it could do something to you, especially when you've never been locked up before. They talk about now is that cruel and unusual punishment. But as far as BriTTneY GrineR, her wife, they both with the LGBT, community. She just came out, did an interview, I think, with Angela Ray or Ray Angela or whatever. And, she like, obviously she want her wife home. And, the story or the narrative that's being painted now, whether she did it or she set up. Obviously, if she set up, then it's all the way fucked up, because, like, you playing unfair. It's like the DAs and people that, they got a little evidence, but they really don't have enough to convict. So they got to do the underhand shit just to, make it stick. Even though some of the people was guilty, but it's like you wouldn't have been able to prove it. But because you're a fuck officer, and your system is fucked, you got to go underhand and do shit just to prove that I did it. When otherwise you wouldn't have been able to prove, and I'll be walking. But anyway, with that being said, the narrative now is that she was LeBron James, if she was Giannis, you know what I mean? Because that's the names they throwing out there. If she was a big NBA star, that it would be more talking about it. It would be more, what's the word, publicity about it. You know what I mean? It would be more networks talking about it. This would be an occurring story every day. Now, when it came, I did a story about it. I seen a few other stories on different platforms talking about it. You know, in the sense of saying that it's messed up and why she was over there, she get paid over here, etc. And this is what I have to say about that. If she was an NBA player, yes, it would be talked about more. And the reason why that is because the NBA is more popular than the WNBA. And although she's a champion, she's I believe she's an Olympic gold medalist. She won a gold medal with the Olympics. And I think she's an all-star like 5 or 6 times. Like, you know what I mean? So she checks the box in all the credentials as far as being a star. Everybody loves a star, like she's a star. But she's just not a big star in the grand scheme of things of the American consumption with sports. Basketball is, you know, it's a major sport, but it's not as big as football. You know what I mean? And you say soccer, which or some people call that football. The WNBA is not as big as that. It's not as big as boxing, MMA, and UFC, baseball. All these things is bigger than women's, you know, WNBA. So nobody really cares. And that may sound harsh to the ears, but nobody cares. So that's why the story is not being talked about. Even though you got the Jalen and Jacobis, you got on the NBA Today with Malika Andrews. We see you out there, Malika, you know what I mean, swirling in them streets. And real quick on that, I don't give a fuck who she getting the D from, even though I've seen that on a couple of stories, and it's like, she's mulatto. She's mixed. Her father's black, her mom's is white. What did y'all expect? Why is it not cool for her, but it's cool for Bronny James, or it's cool for Jamie Foxx, even though Jamie Foxx, side note, because it's the video about Jamie Foxx, but he was just in Sands, you know what I mean? Probably in San Tropez, you know what I mean? Hopping off the diving boards or the boats and all that. And he had a white joint, you know, in the back of the jet skis, and guess he was kissing her in public and shit, having fun, living his best life like it's golden. Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? But I guess what people are saying, Malika Andrews or anybody that fits her space, meaning this, when they be claiming that they pro-black, when they claim that it's B1 first and everything's, oh, but you black, and you got somebody that's vanilla on the side. Can you be pro-black and have a white spouse or Asian, you know, spouse or lover or husband or wife? Can you be? Can you be like one of those people, like, you know what I mean? That's why Nas said that's like, you couldn't catch me in the street without a ton of reefer. That's like Malcolm X catching the jungle fever. And we know in Malcolm days of the Jahiliyyah, which is the Arabic word for ignorance, when he was in his ignorant days, before he got knowledge of self, before he found the folds of Islam, he was banging all of the white joints. As soon as he became Malcolm X, all that shit ceased. And then he went and got, you know what I mean, Miss Betty Shabazz, rest in peace to both of them, you know what I mean? Can you be pro-black and Black Lives Matter, power to the people? Can you be like that and have somebody that's of the other sleeping in your bed with you? My answer is yes. My answer is yes. I believe you can love who you want. Sometimes you don't control who you fall in love with, or you end up being in love with. And sometimes I think you can. Sometimes. I have to explain that in another video. But I think you can. I think you can be pro who you are. And then if you love somebody else and happen to be in love with them and you marry them or you with them, your life partner, whoever, you have kids, etc., like Malika Andrews, moms and pops. And the only reason why I'm saying she pro-black because she at the functions and, you know, David Metaman, that's who she allegedly kind of sort of is with. He definitely a liberal, and, you know, he's progressive, you know, in certain issues and stuff like that. He was just at Colin Kaepernick event, and he just tried out for the Raiders. Side note, get back to BriTTneY in a minute, but I think you can be pro-black or pro whatever your race is. You know what I mean? Because number one, you should be pro whatever race you are first. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you hate other races. It just means that I'm pro-black. If you're Asian, you're probably going to be pro-Asian first. If you're white, you're going to be pro-white first. No matter what you are, no matter what, you know, ethnicity and nationality you came in this world that Allah bless you to come in, you're going to be that first. Then that don't mean you can't have respect and admiration and, you know what I mean, love for others, obviously. And we know that in this world that we've been living, especially in America and all, dare I say globally, you know, you see a lot of shit online. I seen an Asian commercial today that was wild crazy, you know what I mean? And it was a racial commercial against blacks. But I think you can be. I honestly think you can be. I don't think that, I think it may be challenging in a relationship, like when you watching Roots together, ladies that like to diverse, or even fellas, you know what I mean? When you watching certain documentaries or you learning about certain things and your partner is, you know, the people that committed these atrocities, it may be a little kind of hard watching it with them, you know what I mean? And again, I got family members, etc. But anyway, back to BriTTneY GrineR. I think she should be let come home. You know what I mean? I think she should be, if you're going, you know, obviously we can't dictate what other people do in their country. You know what I mean? Like The Walking Dead, you know what I mean? Like I quote this a lot. Your little community, y'all doing it that way over there. This community, they doing it that way over there. And as long as we don't, you know, have to come to blows, or y'all, you know, taking our food, or y'all putting us in jeopardy of the walkers and The Walking Dead, then we good. We're not going to dictate how you live over there. Y'all not going to dictate how we live over here. And that's really what it boils down to. But her wife, who I don't know her name, I didn't look it up, she like, the president can do something about it. Can he really? We're going to go to war. I mean, they're already going to war with the Ukraine, and it's possible we could be going to war, you know, with China over Taiwan, or, you know, protecting them. It's always a possibility of war, you know what I mean? And it could get a little shaky and get a little nervous, like, damn, is we really going to go to war in 2022? But the thing is, what you going to tell Russia? Y'all got to release her? You make her do a deal for her. I believe that you possibly could swipe. But maybe they don't want to do that. Is she being mistreated, mishandled? That would be unfortunate. And as a person that's been in prison, yes, I know what that's like. Like, even though you did a crime, they gave you your time. I was about to say you agree to the time, but there's nothing you can do about it unless you cop out. Then that's different. So let's say you cop out. You did a crime. They said, you're going to take a plea. You're going to take 5 years for doing that dumb shit. You say, that's better than getting 10 years. I did some dumb shit. Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to take this 5 years. You go to the place where you got to serve your time, and then you get mistreated. Now, for the people that's regular civilians, you're law-abiding citizens, you may say, hey, well, you went to jail, that's on you. You know what I mean? You could say that, but again, it's innocent people in jail too. Hello? It's innocent people in jail too. So my point is, you doing your time for the crime you committed, whether, you know what I mean, the guilty ones. But then you in there with officers and people that come there every day, and they do everything in their power to go above and beyond the rules to fuck you over. Like, you know what I mean? For instance, you allow 3 hours of recreation a day. They only give you 1 just because they feel like it. Just because they feel like it. Say you in Attica, where I was at. Buffalo Bills lose, nobody goes direct. You dead. I don't care if you want to wash your ass. Yeah, the shower's in the yard. Got to go outside. Phones is in the yard. Talk to your family. You got to go outside. But if they don't open themselves, you don't get none of that. So just because the Buffalo Bills lose, I don't get no recreation? You just say, fuck my 3 hours of recreation. No, because that's what the state said I can get. But because the people in power that work there, they say, no, you don't get that. Because I don't feel like it. Is that right? Even though the people that did the crime. It's not right. Now, you can say one wrong don't make it right. But my point is this. As long as she's not being mistreated, and again, over there in Russia, how will we know? We wouldn't know. Unless somebody's on the phone, her family is, you know, broadcasting the stuff. My guy, what up? You know what I mean? If people is broadcasting the stuff, shout out to my nigga Renzel in the building. Harlem, stand up. Yeah, kid. We don't know what's going on with her over there. Now, do I think she's being abused? Nah, I don't. But do we have the power to just say, bring her back over? I don't care if it was LeBron James. It could be Giannis, like they was trying to say, like, because if it was these type of players, they would have been back already. Or they would have been talking about it already. And I say, nah, I don't think so. I don't say you're going to dictate to Russia who they gonna let out their prison system for a crime that a person committed, whether they're American or not. Now you can try to bargain and say, well, you know what? We got some prisoners of war over here that, you know, from back in the days, or we got some, you know, we got something you want, you got something that we want. Let's come to the table, let's negotiate and see what, you know, what we can come up with. But you just can't dictate like, nah, because we America, y'all gotta send her back. That's not reality. And if it was, it would have been happened already. So, you know, the big networks and the news and all that, they could spin the clip. Like, yeah, if it was an NBA player, woo, 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 and I beg to differ. I don't think anything would change. I think Russia, especially where we at now, like they losing troops, this war that's been happening in Ukraine, what we going on now? 2 months? You know what I mean? And the images, this is a side note too. Y'all know I'm real squeamish. I know I don't really like looking at a lot of shit. So one of my friends, I don't even know if they being a friend right now, like in Ragnarok, when Thor was like, you're being a very bad friend right now. So one of my friends and shit, they sent me this website, and it's called the YNC, and I'm gonna just leave it like that. If you know, you know. Whoever watching, I mean, you know. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button too. Get a couple of likes on this video before you step off the page. So anyway, this is like one of them underground sites, one of them underground websites, and it just show all of the fucked up shit like the Buffalo shooting, shit that happened in the masjid, you know, when they came in there and killed all the people. They showing women being chopped up, and this shit is, y'all know, I don't like looking at that shit, so I don't know why they sent it to me, but I watched a few videos, and unfortunately, I shouldn't have watched them, because it's like, damn, humans will do the most, like what Mike Tyson said to Rogan, he like, anything you could think of, a human done to another human. When you see them just beheading, lady was alive, I guess she was a cop, you know what I mean? I don't know what she did, this shit was in Spanish. Chopped the head off, like, slowly, you know what I mean? Then chopped her vagina off, too. I couldn't believe it. Y'all know on the channel I say when you put the beat on, I'm not shocked and amazed when it comes to a lot of shit. I'm just not. This is the life that I've been given, the stuff that I've seen, and through other people's stories. Like, so I'm not shocked about a lot of things. The shit that I seen on YouTube about the channel with the black woman telling other black ladies, other black women, that they shouldn't have no more black boy babies, that shocked and amazed me. I'm not gonna lie. And I was mad. I'm human. I was triggered, and that's why for the people that always call up the Kevin Samuel show, I never will go on her channel again. I'm never going to shout her name out. I'm never going to go over there because it's like I already know what they're talking about. I already know what type of vibe they're on. So there's no need for me to go on her page and to even pay attention to it. So the same people, if you don't like something, then why keep going? But my point with this shit here, humans is we the worst. That's number one. We are the worst. Especially, but you black. We do the most foul shit to each other. Well, you can't dictate what goes on in other countries. And a lot of this shit, the videos that I did watch was in Jamaica, was in Brazil, was in like other countries with a cartel just doing niggas dirty. So just because we big bad America, don't mean you're going bully the block and you're gonna be the Broad Street bully. It's not gonna happen. Do I want her home? Yeah. You know what I mean? And let her serve her time over here, or give her a slap on the wrist and let her come on. Let's get to this last shit though. Let's get to some hip hop shit real quick. Hip hop rappers, two things about hip hop. First, the first one, which is real quick, because I don't even think it need to be addressed that much. So Fredro from Onyx, Slam, let the boys be boys. Like, you know what I mean? Who I love, the group I love, you know what I mean? I got struck by lightning in the thunder. Fredro, who was in the Strap movie, HBO movie, where he ended up killing a little girl, like niggas be doing when they can't shoot and when they scared to shoot. Accident murderers, right? When he played the accident murderer nigga. Yeah, that was Crooklyn, or it was Strap. It was Strap, not Crooklyn, it was Strap. But anyway, obviously, hip hop group, you know what I mean? Onyx, who I like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of their songs. He recently came out and said on his top 5 of new MCs now, like this era, he got Foreign Fivio better than Kendrick Lamar? What? What? Like, come on, bro. know you on some New York shit or you just on some, I mean, like you in a New York state of mind, but bro, you bugging out. You all the way smoking, you all the way bugging. He ain't nowhere near Kendrick Lamar. Now maybe he possibly, maybe could be one day. He could be great, but he ain't on Kendrick Lamar. Like, come on, bro. Not at all. Like, and that's not even no hate. I like some of his songs, but he not no Kendrick. Especially the last album. Kendrick just dropped the album, and it's not real club banging-ish. I listened to it one time, gotta listen again, and gotta re-listen because it's a lot. He covered a lot of topics. So I just wanted to, Fredro, you bugging, bro. Fabio is not better than Kendrick Lamar. Not in my opinion. Whoever watching right now, if you think the opposite, let me know if you think he better than Kendrick Lamar and how. How do you see it? If they have a versus, it'll be a slaughter. It'll be a slaughter. And Kendrick could probably just use, he could probably use Mag C. Obviously, he could use The Damn. I mean, he could use so many albums because he put out a couple of classic albums now. So let's just get to that. Now let's get to this last shit when you see in the title and the thumbnail. New York City rappers turning their tune. And this is what I mean. Obviously in the Bronx, maybe yesterday or 2 days ago, all this shit be going on in the media, so it's kind of hard to keep up with. But 22 people out the Bronx, they just keep doing this shit. And I talk about it a lot. Because I talk about when I was on Rikers with the sweep that happened on the east side, and they swept all those gang members up, the young niggas, the ones that can't think, ones that don't know the law, ones that's caught up in the matrix, and it's like the snake, the rat, the cat, the dog. How you gonna see it when you living in the fall? You can't see shit when it's foggy outside. And the young brother was like, yo, I'm not even down with this gang shit. And I believed him. I believe he wasn't just lying and practicing his skit for when he go to court. It was a few niggas in there, and obviously you could tell the ones that was down, he wasn't down, just on Facebook, and you gotta be careful. But anyway, they just did another sweep, you know what I mean? Another swoop down. You coming with us. Where's Scorpion at? Scorpion, get over here. Like, get over here. Get over here. Went to the projects, scooped like 22 young boys up, gang, and supposed to be drill rap and all of this, and they've been doing this. And it's like, oh, we're gonna pick the Polo Grounds today. Then tomorrow we're going to go to AK. The next time we're going to go to Best Style, Pink Houses. And we're just going to swoop these niggas up and take them off to jail. In the back end, you say, yeah, they're cleaning up the community. On the front end, we losing a lot of the youth. They get caught up in the matrix. And granted, some are for attempt murder, some is for murder, some is for all type of charges. But the reason why I'm putting the rappers in, because the rappers is the ones who sat down with Mayor Adams. And it looked like they was in the Oval Office even though they wasn't. So you had Mano there, you had Fabio, who I'm talking about. You had Neebs or Nibs or whatever his name is. A few New York rappers, obviously. Some I knew, some I didn't know. And Mano was doing the most of the talking. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mano. And he was like, they're going to educate the mayor on what drill rap really is. And, you know, I guess they're supposed to be having a summit or moving forward to try to cease or at least slow down the violence between a lot of these young kids out here that's just killing themselves. Obviously, the young girl killed in the Bronx, 11-year-old. They caught both of the dudes. And it's just so much killing. And the thing is, yeah, when you got people with guns that don't know how to shoot, don't know what they doing, scared to get caught, or really don't want to, nobody want to get caught. So you shooting from so far away, thinking that's going to help you get away when there's cameras everywhere. You don't got the mask on, not even the COVID mask, more or less a mask to hide your identity. But you just brandishly, like, outlandishly, like, just shooting in broad daylight, like you don't give a fuck. And some of them don't, because they think that that's going to give them props. Like Nas said, props is a true thug's wife. Is like a cycle. Some will come out, some will go in, do a bullet, come back, do the same shit again from the womb to the tomb, presumed unpredictable. Like, you know what I mean? Guns bust rapidly. That's the ritual, and that's on that No Tricks on the Purple Tape album with Ghost and Ray. You see videos with the kids with the guns is going around now, and somebody had the nerve to ask, should the OG step in? Like, duh, no, the father should step in. The fathers, the uncles, the older cousins, people that been through the storm. So it was good to see rappers sit down with the mayor. But now my question is, when I say, are they turning their tune? When you sit down with the mayor now, when you say, yo, we're going to try to stop the violence. We're going to see what we could do with the youth. Can you come out later and make an album? This is what I said all that to say. This is the question that I'm asking. After you sit down with the mayor, talk about drill music, talk about the state of New York City and the violence with the kids, etc., with the gangs. Some of them probably gang members, the rappers I'm talking about. After you sit down with the mayor, can you come out the week later, 2 weeks later, a month later with an album talking about gang shit? Violence, killing niggas, and niggas stepping on your sneaker and we going pow? Can you talk about that? If you do, how should the public look at you? That's what I want to end this video on, in this show. Are you a hypocrite? And I know sometimes as humans, we can contradict ourselves. So it doesn't make you a hypocrite. It just makes you human. And sometimes you may be vegan, or you trying, or you may try to stop smoking weed, and you tell the world, and I'm going to stop smoking. Then they catch you on your third day because you slipped up. You just human and you took a back step. Don't mean you can't keep walking forward in your journey. Never let nobody shame you into keep trying to do better. So like, fuck it, I fucked up once, so I'm going to stop trying. No, keep trying, because you're going to keep messing up. But my point is, after you sit down with the mayor and you talk about drill music, the bad of it, what's going on, the state of affairs, can you come out with an album now, a single, a club banger, talking about killing niggas now again? Mano, can you make songs like that again? Fabio, can you make songs about killing niggas? And what you going to do to niggas? And at the set, and we going, SandY, we going to slide? Or how, and if you do, because you can do what the fuck you want. I'm just posing the question. How are we now as the public supposed to look at it? Because on one hand, Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. And I say that on the show, and I be being funny, but I'm not. How are we supposed to look at you? As a fake, a phony? Can't sit down with the man. That's like, well, I respect. When he like got MJ Summer Jam, Obama on the text. Y'all should be afraid of what I'm going to do next. Hold up, freeze. Somebody bring me back some money, please. On to the next one. On that song, he took a lot of people through a lot of jabs because he was like, loiterers should be arrested. Like, niggas just loitering outside, doing nothing. You eating a nothing sandwich. You standing there smoking a nothing sandwich. You wasting time. He like, niggas like that should be arrested. I mean, used to drink Cristal, motherfuckers raced it onto that gold bottle, onto that spaceship. You can see he ain't really rap about that no more, really. Certain things he left behind. Moved on some grown man shit. And that 444 album was one of his best works ever, to me, as a whole fan. And if you rock with the channel, you know Hov is number 2 on my list. Nas number 1, Hov number 2. He changed his whole shit up. And even on that 4-4, when he was like, oh, you got the cocaine is on, and we was selling cocaine, and then he like, nah, scratch that. That was the past. We on to better things. Merrily eating off these streams of wine. You know what I mean? He switched it up. So my point is, once Hov said that, he ain't really come with no more. And he wasn't no real gangster rapper anyway. Obviously, he had bars where he'll lay you down and come get you and have the paramedics breathing soft on you. But it wasn't in the vein like how you see rappers like the Styles P's and the other certain rappers like, I'm going to just do you, kill. He didn't really have that. It was more from a hustler's perspective. And if you in the streets and you hustling, sometimes you may have to pop a nigga or protect yourself from getting robbed or from getting extorted. It's hard not to kill niggas. It's like a full-time job not to kill niggas, right? So my point is, Hov never backpedaled, you know what I mean, and rap the same. He don't rap about drugs and hustling no more. If he doing this in the sense like, y'all mad because y'all couldn't catch me, and now I'm the GOAT, I'm the Billy. Can Mano and these other rappers that was sitting down with Mayor Adams from this point forward talk about gang street drug shit? If they do, are you buying it? Are you buying it now? I think like the Jim Jones, the Lobby Boys, and just certain rap now, although, you know, I love hip-hop. I'm born on, You know, we born and raised on hip hop. That's what the channel was about. That's why I quote raps instantly. I could tell you reference where it come from, what album and all that, because I love it. But as I get older, as I am older now, certain joints just don't hit the same. And it's like, especially if you see rappers that was rapping like this 15 years ago, they in their 40s now, getting close to 50. It's like, you still rapping about the same shit? You ain't putting no twists on it about no stocks, no investments, no real estate, how you raising your kids, you know what I mean, how you doing certain things. And then you say like the Kanye's, he been came in and he never was on that, and he better than a lot of these rappers that was sitting at that meeting. And it is what it is. Why you can't change it up if this shit supposed to be so easy? You know what I mean? Like 50 Cent, I'm getting what you get off a brick to talk greasy. Like, shit is easy in this art form, so why you can't switch it up? You know what I mean? Why you can't switch it up if it's so easy and you so gifted with the wordplay? My thing is, again, I ain't gonna say they're gonna be hypocrites. I'm gonna say you probably gotta stick to what you know. But if you still talking that gang and you in the streets running around, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to believe, which I've been stopped believing. And what message are you really pushing? Are you with the mayor trying to stop this shit, or you trying to push the same shit? And that's what I got for y'all tonight. You already know what it is. It's your boy, Popovitz. That's me. Y'all was just tuned in. Popovitz TV. That's my show. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here, one more again. Yeah, kid.